at it again, and we got one with Thomas Sowell. Let's dive in.
It is not just in Iraq that the political left has an investment in failure. Domestically as well as internationally, the left has long had a vested interest in poverty and social malaise. The old advertising slogan, "Progress is our most important product," has never applied to the left. Whether it is successful black schools in the United States or third world countries where millions of people have been rising out of poverty in recent years, the left has shown little interest. Progress in general seems to hold little interest for people who call themselves progressives. What arouses them are denunciations of social failures and accusations of wrongdoing. One wonders what they would do in heaven. We are in no danger of producing heaven on earth, but there have been some remarkable developments in some third world countries within the past generation that have allowed many very poor people to...
That was a little funny. One wonders, what would they do in heaven? Nothing to complain about there. Nothing to nothing to fight against. What would they do there?
Third world countries within the past generation that have allowed many very poor people to rise to a standard of living that was never within their reach before. The August 18, 2007 issue of the distinguished British magazine The Economist reveals the economic progress in Brazil, Argentina, and other Latin American nations that has given a better life to millions of their poorest citizens. Some of the economic policies that have led to these results are discussed in The Economist, but it is doubtful that members of the political left will stampede there to find out what those policies were. They have shown no such interest in how tens of millions of people in China and tens of millions of people in India have risen out of poverty within the past generation. Despite whatever the left may say, or even believe, about their concern for the poor, their actual behavior shows their interest in the poor to be greatest when the poor can be used as a focus of the left's denunciations of society. When the poor stop being poor, they lose the attention of the left. What actions on the part of the poor, or what changes in the economy, have led to drastic reductions in poverty seldom arouse much curiosity, much less celebration.
Ooh, say that again.
Part of the poor, or what change, they lose the attention of the left. What actions on the part of the poor, or what changes in the economy, have led to drastic reductions in poverty seldom arouse much curiosity.
Keep you poor and keep you dependent upon the government. If you're dependent upon them, one, they get your vote, and two, they have all the power. If you need them for food and money, and you're dependent on them for that, who has the power? You gotta eat, and it's a shame. It's a shame.
Much less celebration. This is not a new development in our times. Back in the 19th century, when Karl Marx presented his vision of the impoverished working class rising to attack and destroy capitalism, he was disappointed when the workers grew less revolutionary over time as their standards of living improved. At one point, Marx wrote to his disciples, "The working class is revolutionary or it is nothing." Think about that. Millions of human beings mattered to him only insofar as they could serve as cannon fodder in his jihad against the existing society. If they refused to be pawns in his ideological game, then they were nothing. No one on the left would say such things so plainly today, even to themselves, but their actions speak louder than words. Blacks are to the left today.
You know, I said something about this the other day. Typically, black people have voted left, have voted Democrat, but I feel like we've begun to see a shift, and Democrats know that, and the current administration, well, some people in the current administration understand that, and there's been some conspiracy theories as to why we are now allowing, I don't know how many people, a lot of folks. I heard there's a caravan on the way to our southern border as we speak. Why they've been allowing folks to come in droves like they have and spreading them all across the U.S. Now, hey, listen, it's conspiracy theory, but like one of you said, the difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth is 6 to 7 months. So I guess we'll find out at the end of this year, beginning of next year, what the truth of the matter actually is. but that is to replace the black vote that they've lost. Let me know in the comment section if y'all agree. I mean, from what I've seen and what I've heard, they are allowing a lot of people to just flood into the southern border, flood in through the southern border, just all willy-nilly, giving them rides, flying them out to wherever in the U.S., spreading them all around. Sounds a little weird to me. But when you factor in, they understand that they've lost some of their black voters, and they're looking at these immigrants coming in as their new black voters, it makes a little more sense what they're doing. But I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comment section. Talk to me.
What the working class was louder than words. Blacks are to the left today what the working class was to Marx in the 19th century. Pawns in an ideological game. Blacks who rise out of poverty are of no great interest to the left, unless the way they do so is by attacking society. The poverty rate among black married couples has been in single digits since 1994, but the left has shown no more interest in why that is so than they have shown in why many millions of people have risen out of poverty in Latin America or in China and India. Where progress can be plausibly claimed to be a result of policies favored by the left, then such claims are made. A whole mythology has grown up that the advancement of minorities and women in America is a result of policies promoted by the left in the 1960s. Such claims are often based on nothing more substantial than ignoring the history of the progress made prior to 1960. Retrogressions in the wake of the policies of the 1960s are studiously ignored. The runaway crime rates, the disintegration of black families, and the ghetto riots of the 1960s that have left many black communities still barren more than 40 years later. Whatever does not advance the left agenda is nothing.
So, interesting video there that really pointed out a glaring issue with the word progressives, or the title progressives. And one great example of that would be Chicago. I mean, there's a glaring example there. I mean, I don't know how long Chicago has been controlled by someone on the left, or a progressive. If that is the case, and progressives are about progress, Chicago wouldn't have the nickname Chirac. You know, it's pretty crazy. A U.S. city is nicknamed Chirac. What? Like you mean a war is going on in Chicago? Sounds like it. You know, you're hearing gunshots all over the place. You might be mistaken. It's crazy to me. There's a glaring example there, but we never hear that talked about in the news. Ever. Chicago's just looked over as if it doesn't even exist. Doesn't matter. When's the last time we heard, a big progressive politician talk about Chicago and everything that's going on there? I honestly couldn't tell you. And I've scrolled through more news clips recently than I have in many, many years. And I haven't heard anybody speak about Chicago. Any progressives speak about Chicago. But why is that? I think in part it disproves what they are trying to do. They're trying to push this agenda, but they realize if they acknowledge Chicago, they acknowledge that their policies and what they're trying to do will never work. So, I mean, they kind of would defeat themselves by acknowledging Chicago. But what do y'all think? Let me know in the comment section. But also, you have these so-called woke activists who are just all over the place, screaming, yelling, and crying about anything and everything, and they think that they're doing a good to society. And I'm like, no, you're not doing any type of good. There was a quote by, I don't remember who exactly said it. Oh man, forgive me if you know who said this. Comment it below. But it was something, I'm paraphrasing here, but it was something along the lines of like, don't confuse being busy with progress or getting somewhere in life, because you can run in place. Running in place is a whole lot of movement, a whole lot of activity, but you're not going anywhere. You can screech your tires, you know what I mean? Like, all you want. That's a lot of burning rubber, but you're not really going anywhere, And I think a lot of these activists, it's the same kind of mindset. Activity is looked at as progress. Oh yeah, we're making some progress because we're being active. We're burning buildings and all this other stuff. We're being active. And I'm like, no, you're actually going in the opposite direction, if anything. But I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Y'all let me know how you feel about all of this in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, and of course, hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.